Hello, and welcome back to Half Glass Gaming. I'm your host, Sugarful, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not really a video game, per se, I guess is the right word. This is the beginner's guide. This was recommended by Pirate Software. You probably know him as Thor. He does a lot of good videos on coding and making video games and all this kind of stuff. He's worked for Blizzard. He's done a bunch of stuff with all these teams. Been grossly underpaid. He talks about that a lot. He's recommended this game, and this is for a beginner who's trying to make their own video game, who wants to start their own project at least. And I've been wanting to try it for a while. I had to get some other games done first. If you check my Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I've started a project, and I really want to turn it into a game after I finish writing it. And I figured this could be a good way to introduce some of those aspects of the game without revealing the game itself, because I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to release it before I'm ready to. I don't even want to say a name or anything like that. But it's something that's supposed to get you started, and I was gonna check it out. So here we go. Please make sure audio is on. Okay.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
Oh, shit.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction.
That's interesting.
Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game.
Okay, before he keeps going, I just wanted to mention one really cool thing about that is he's getting more artsy with it. He's saying don't just make a game. He's saying I want to learn the person behind the game too. I really aspire to
As each
do
game is
something like
loading,
that.
I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Whisper Machine active.
Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Oh, I'm out of bullets. Shit.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life forms inbound.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For
Yeah.
instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy
Okay.
force neutralized. Begin shielded activation.
So it's just a timer-based thing. That's how Coda would have created that one,
I love how
obviously.
you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I always hated the way games had to do that. Like, it always had to be square like this. And then, like, in most games, especially this one, you can see the corner. But, anyway.
Apparently, this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh, I did it. I did it anyway. Fuck you.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the Whisper Machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could
No.
you give yourself?
Yep.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. Just raises you.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
I'm surprised that I was able to get through that labyrinth so quick. That was awesome. It's like the back rooms, but I won.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? That's actually so fun. Dude, what?
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clear, but once you start to walk, you won't be able to. But the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength? This is fucking awesome. I really like this. To confront it. Oh,
It's
no.
a short little thought. It says what it wants to say, and then it ends.
That was
It
awesome.
didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Dude, that was so interesting, and it was so quick. Oh, I fucking hate stuff like this. Reminds me of Slenderman. Yo, shouts out Nick. You are now entering. Jump scare?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Oh, I'm slowly getting slower as I climb.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay. Nothing. I can't even read that fast, and I'm fast as fuck.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Oh, cool.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that.
Press U
It
to
can be a
surrender.
very slow climb to get there.
I don't know. Yeah, I got that. The slow climb with the stairs. Obvious. Huh. I'm gonna have to go back and read all those sometime because that seems like a good idea to, like a good, what do they call that? Brainstorming area right there. If you don't understand what I'm trying to say, I mean, I'm gonna go steal those ideas. Maybe. We'll see. And get inspired by them, is what people say.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
An
Go ahead and
actual,
see if you can solve it.
an actual lever. I feel like I can't walk there. You have to go into the unknown? No? Oh, you can press the block from out here. Oh, no. Damn. I wasn't...
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're
Oh.
gonna see it a lot.
I gotcha. I wasn't sure if he was gonna have another lever on this side of the door. I thought it might have been trapped here. Three dots, okay.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Whoa.
There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior, and then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role
Right.
here is not to understand, then what is it? Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Reminds me of Last of Us for some reason. I'm not even walking downstairs. What the hell?
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Uh-huh.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Okay.
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games, to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
It's a whole world underneath here. What? Oh, that's the invisible wall so that you don't fall down? Or so I guess you can't walk off the stairs. This is really reminiscent of Half-Life. What the fuck is going on? This is a trip. Now
This
I'm
prison,
locked.
funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind,
Hilarious.
I think we're gonna skip that.
Hilarious.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
The gag was you playing all those games. Because what's a playable game? You know, is it gonna be an interesting game or does it just work? You know what I mean?
It's the puzzle again, with the exact same solution as the last time.
Except for he's lying, isn't he?
There's still no
Oh, no.
clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I think I already know. Close one door, another one opens. You have to leave the past in the past to move on, right? Like, you can't focus on the old games like Coda. Like, Coda doesn't care about his old stuff, he just keeps creating. That's actually a really good motto for life. Like, everything in the past, you can't fix it. You can't change it. So just keep creating.
Here, Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
You there, did you come from up above? What was up there? There's a world stamped with whiteness and colored floating blocks, and I'll do 3. That's the world above. You've been there? Now, this is important. Did you have to get through a puzzle with 2 doors and switches? Yep. Again, please tell us how you solved it. Tell us the solution on how to get to the other side. I didn't solve it. He let me in. I thought there was gonna be a trap fucking door, goddamn. Alright, let's. Did I get it wrong? Oh, so these are the people that are judging your games, I think. I do recall.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
It's a never-ending staircase. Oh no, never mind. That's a schoolyard.
It's a lamppost.
Oh.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Huh. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Is that gonna be like updated, real, true? All the notes are just gonna say try finger butthole. Nice room, not. it's just gonna be dumb stuff, I think.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're gonna see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up.
Cool.
I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Yeah, like this is all written by the same guy. That's a lot of time. That seems.
But it's ironic, isn't it?
Kind of lonely.
That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Yeah, there's a whole other room. I didn't hear any chimes before. I do hear them now. There's a whole other room that I didn't explore back there, though, and that would be like an aspect of Coda's personality. Oops, sorry. Don't want to feel judged, he says. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery. Oh, is this going to be like upsetting? I want to see this painting. Doesn't matter if you get over there? Well, I want to. It's not going to let me, is it? Okay, good. I was afraid it was gonna do some sort of bullshit and like move the room on me. Some sort of abstract piece of art? Is it supposed to be like... Those are all everybody's heads and this is the perception everybody has of your psyche? Because I feel like this room is his psyche. Who are all of you? Oh, so this is looking into his psyche, but all of us are looking at it, playing the game. So he's asking us, who are all of you looking at me? Who are all of you playing my game? Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Well, maybe I'm wrong. From up here now, it just looks like dots. Oh, cool. Oh, never mind. I thought they were 3D. Huh. It's about how this game is pretentious and all of you suck. Yeah, I get how I was sounding pretentious there too, but I think that's how it's supposed to be. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason, obviously. Terrible secret, he's kept it well, he's lonely. I beat this game. No, you haven't. More rooms?
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
Obviously. That's why the same lever is on the door that you open first, because you have to physically close that same door.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on. And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Huh. Here's everybody reviewing your game? Reviewing your psyche? I was gonna try and type. Porn stars
This
die
one is
too.
tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. It's a nice little room, at least. Kind of cool. I like that painting. Music's a little obnoxious.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
How about a giant hole in the ground? No, let's do a fridge. 10 stoves. It's no matter what you want, you have to do what should be there. That's what they're kind of saying. I think we should light up this room. A skylight. I'm thinking a 10 by 12 recessed electric. We'll put live Tesla coils. Try for Tesla coils. Oh, darn. We didn't get what we wanted. Oh, this is the prison of ideas, I guess it's supposed to do. A table? I've already got a table. Who are you? What exactly are you doing this? Whoa. Whoa.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Can I jump over it? Oh, I can't.
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. This guide will enable you to escape any prison environment. Follow the instructions carefully. Photo frame and turn it slightly. Turn the floor lamp in this room and turn it back on. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start and be taken back to your prison. Okay. Table, painting, lamp, couch, shelf.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Fuck.
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
Oh, shit.
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
It's that you are the prison. I just want to touch on that quick. I kind of feel the same way with my project that I've been working on, where it's like, I don't want to move on from this particular, I guess we'll call it an act. I don't want to move on from an act in my project because it's like if I didn't do enough there to like gather enough people's attention at the intro, then it's like, how can I foreshadow things in the first bit that are gonna be realized later, but also keep their attention so that they can get to the later part? Like, it's just really difficult trying to, because like you'll have plenty of ideas all at once, obviously, like when you're brainstorming, especially when you're starting a brand new project. For example, mine's a book, so like tons of things can happen in a book, right? Like tons of different things could instigate fights or people hating your characters or liking your characters or whatever, right? And it's really difficult to kind of pick and choose, like, when should these things happen, or if they make sense for these characters, and trying to write multiple characters at one time, trying to have like all different kind of like their motivations and stuff. It's really difficult, and you kind of do get trapped in that prison of thought, like, okay, well maybe I should be doing something else here instead. Maybe I should be doing something else here instead. Like, as soon as something starts to stop working, it's like, okay, maybe I have to change it all completely. And then you could erase like 3 paragraphs of something, and it's like, oh, I just spent 2 days working on these 3 paragraphs, and now it's all gone because I thought, oh, this idea just wasn't quite good enough. But maybe it's not that the idea is bad, it's just it needs tweaking. And so you can get trapped in that constant, like, okay, I'm going to delete it, now I'm going to rewrite it, now I'm going to delete it because it's not good enough, now I'm going to rewrite it again. And it is really, really annoying, and it makes it hard to motivate yourself, because at the end of the day, nobody else is telling you what to do here. Like, I'm doing this project for me. I don't have a schedule, I don't have a due date, I don't have anything like that. So it's just like, if you can't motivate yourself to get this kind of stuff done, it's very, very difficult. And if you get trapped in that prison of ideas where it's just, you keep recycling, it's just, you can't get forward, you can't move ahead with stuff. So I think it's actually a good idea to almost not accept bad ideas, but understand that if you think something's bad, if you just move on and keep writing, it might end up making more sense because you could write on top of that, and then it's oh shit, that doesn't make any sense. It's more like as you continue writing, you might realize better ideas that can fit into that and still work with the new stuff that you've written. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Anyway, I'll be right back. Just maybe think that through while I go use the washroom. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Yeah, we were just talking about the idea prison. Okay, so this is the last version of his prison that he had made. And he's removed the prison. He's just made it so that you actually can't do anything, which is essentially the same. Hello? Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you. After you escaped from the prison. You're me? You were trapped in the prison too? Yeah, I was in the furniture maze.
It's a conversation. And
with
so this
myself.
is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
Feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Do you feel any different? Maybe my brain a little bit. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. Yeah, once you go through things, you should feel change. I gotta go blow my nose one second. Hopefully I don't miss anything. Alright, cool. Okay, good. You are a different person. That seems so nice to hear. Makes me feel really happy. Well, I'm still me. It's hard to describe, but certain things change, and it's a small incremental change. Wait, if you're me, then how did you get another version of the call when I was trapped? No, actually, I didn't. Can you tell me how to get out? Maybe I can come find you. What do I have to do? To get out, all you have to do is be sincere. Tell me how you feel. Or just talk with me for a bit. Sometimes just talking. I don't know. Answer that way, I guess. What? That will free me? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Alright, I can talk. Let's just talk for a bit. Will you be here? As long as you need. That's funny that that's the only option.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yep.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
This reminds me of The Shining.
To me, this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh yeah, I see it. Spilled milk, spilled coffee. No crying over spilled coffee, right? Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all hell that you showed up. Thought I might have to clean this entire house by myself. Everyone knows Lonesome Hands here makes it lousy. And a lousy home makes home loners.
The art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Okay. There you go. Hands cramping up already. Don't play enough video games anymore. There we go. Alright, so we gotta help this guy clean. Place isn't gonna clean itself. Put a table. I can't spill the... Run to the bedroom and make the bed, okay. Interesting. Fix the rug, shelves. All the little details matter. Oh, do you enjoy being a house cleaner? How do you end up doing this? It's been a long time since I've seen a house this messy. No, do you enjoy it? Well, don't enjoy it as much as you need it. While I'm working, I feel a kind of calm that rests in the pit of my ribcage. My soul can't be soothed any other way, it seems, which I guess is all that matters. Oh, that and a tidy couch. Would you mind straightening the pillows? So it's the little things that matter, essentially. And the drink. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy. Everything's cheesy, man. No, it was stupid. Never mind. No. Tell me. Do it. Finish your project is essentially what I'm saying. Last time he checked, the tub needed cleaning. Hardly. No way needs to be perfect. We're all just human. Are there still books scattered on the floor of the bedroom? Yep.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
That's interesting. Perfect. Now then, how about you come clear the dishes? Yep. Do the chores ever end? Nope. Darling, let me tell you something. Whatever work you do, you have absolutely got to own it. Otherwise, it owns you. So why don't we be with the task at hand and leave the future chores to the future you? Present you.
This game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time. Just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Because keeping up with stuff makes things good. Earlier when I said I had that real cheesy thought, I was going to say it occurs to me when that one's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. Yeah, you have to manage the tiny details, because tiny things lead up to bigger things. Okay, it's supposed to be like a keep working, you can do it kind of motivational game, sort of. Get you out of that shitty headspace, like that prison idea headspace, you know? Yeah, there's truth in that. Healthy life, healthy space, you know? Anyway, so housekeeping, keep doing this. Would you please clean up the books again? Fuck's sakes, man. It sucks. It gets annoying, you know? It gets frustrating to have to constantly keep cleaning the same things over and over. But it never ends. You have to keep doing it.
I'm glad he found some peace.
Yeah. You have to be content with the fact that things won't always stay perfect. Which is why you have to keep cleaning. You have to keep doing this. Oh goodness, those pillows
Of course,
again.
It can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave.
Oh
The
shit.
door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You
That's-
have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
I just said that. Fuck yeah, buddy. Yeah, no, this is a real fun game. I'm enjoying this. And there's...
Which is the whole point of the
lamp
puzzle
post.
doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
You really thought that was the point of it?
This one gets a bit goofy.
Okay. It was to get a better job, essentially. Let's switch seats. You came here to be perfect. This workshop's going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life, to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your life? Who do you know who's also a well-developed person and... Oh shit. They make you feel disgusted with yourself. Compared to whom? You feel useless, selfish, ungrateful. I intend to make you into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is so easy.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. What the fuck? And the question is, how do we do it
And
effortlessly?
you play as the teacher.
This is the
Suddenly,
key.
You discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh, cool. This is the key. How do I achieve it with no effort? On the way to work, I told an elderly person to start contributing to society. Oh, jeez, that's awful. Kids should not follow their... What? How do I achieve looking effortlessly with no effort? That's got to be the right answer. The other two are ridiculous. And it's all just chaos in front of the teachers somehow. I guess that makes sense. Well, let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. Or I still love you, it's just that you make me feel cold on the inside. Being alone must be awful. Ah, well. One again. Let me tell you right now, if it isn't effortless, then it's not the right answer. If you're torturing yourself trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it right. No. Trying to find a solution is the torture. And that is right. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? No. There is no truth, there is no path. Yeah. That's proper. What if I'm not a good teacher? Do what is easiest, do what is simplest, feel what is true. No. What is this supposed to be? Nothing, no one. It's coming for you, it's gonna destroy you. Everybody run.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
What? I don't really have a problem with comparing myself to others.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to
So,
make. It was
I don't
4
know
months between this
about
and the
that one.
last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this. And it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
Alright. Supposed to be some sort of reference to putting your work out there and being courageous about it? Almost scared me. Alright, the performance is beginning. Places, people in the scene, you'll be playing as me. We're at a gathering of professionals. First, you'll start out leaning against the wall. Okay. Oh shit. Good, stay right there. The woman across the room in this chair is a professional photographer of animals. It's your dream to photograph animals professionally. This is the one chance to learn something from her, to gain something, to succeed. Go on, say something. Hello? Hello? That's it? That's not a conversation. Well, no shit, you didn't give me any fucking options. You need to actually converse with her. Be a human. Do it again. I'm like super scared right now. Me talking to women. No, that's not what I said to her. Or not. What? That's not what I said to her. Okay, you're completely missing the tone of the conversation. I was reserved, but I knew what I wanted. I was confident. For some reason, I was just like that one moment, but I was confident. Maybe it's that you need a better feel of the setting. There are a lot of people around us. I'll give you some props to work with. These cones that bounce when you touch them, they'll represent the people in the space nearby. Now talk to her again. Can I hit that? Bouncing off of people? That's kind of fun. Okay, back to the game. Talk to her again. You must have really worked hard to get where you are. Yeah, definitely. You're messing it up all again. You'll freak her out if the conversation gets personal like that. Do you not realize how important this was for me? I'll never get an opportunity like this again. Everything was riding on this. Really? I want to try something. Try stepping back from the stage. Okay. You're locking me out. I'll never be able to get to the stage. No! The fuck, eh? Like, if you mess up professional relationships, you can't have a stage to show your stuff on?
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are inviting me to connect with this person, to bring him closer. But what can you do? After this, Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
Mobius Trip. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Keep your eyes closed. Okay. Okay. To do it properly, close your eyes. So, I will pretend that I have my eyes closed. Does it blow up or what?
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Huh. So, it was just a joke. Oh, it's the Whisper again. Okay. Gotcha. Help, I'm blind. There's no one solution to get through. Okay. The only way to stop it is to speak something that is honest. I am bursting with creative energy. I can't keep making these. My work is always fun. Two. Yep, that's it. That's the truth. You're not always bursting with creative energy.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So, where's that coming from? But then, even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing.
I've
Here
been
was
there.
the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way.
It's draining me. Killing them to keep doing this. Keep going, keep talking. Ah, dude, I've totally been here before. This is actually kind of painful. I haven't been honest. I have to work harder. So this is the space in between games that he's always referencing. He has to forget about
His games are going to get more desperate from
that
here on out.
with this.
After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be a longer gap again. Because he's slowly getting tired of it. He's running out of ideas. It's taking a toll on him, or for whatever reason. Okay, well, hello? Where'd this island come from? This is cool. I like this. Huh? Is that a person? How lovely. It's been a long time since I talked to anyone. When I try to create, I feel empty. I have nothing left to give to my work. I'm completely out of ideas. What's wrong? You look lost. I'm out of ideas. Oh no. What's happened? Did something change? There was a machine that kept me going and it stopped. I'm trying to find this engine that used to protect me to start it again. Machine that kept me from going. Or kept me going, sorry. It isn't far. I think I know where it is. You have to take me to it. Lead me. Help me. I can do that, but there's a problem.
Game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations. This one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for?
I can take you there, but there's a problem. It's guarded by a difficult puzzle. If you can help me solve the puzzle, then we'll find the machine. Deal? Deal.
Because from my perspective at the time, and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on.
Well, I've done this before. Is it going to be the exact same? Probably not. First, you have to open the door. You have to try. You have to get into that crazy space. You have to instigate the first step, you know? Now you have to close the first door. Once you start something, finish it. And then the second door just opens. Now I just press the switch. And there we go.
You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash.
And then you're stuck. And you feel trapped and you can't breathe. Okay, so you have to lie to yourself. Trust me, you'll see. You have to say that the work's fun and easy. Alright? But it's not. But it wasn't true. That doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Just keep talking. Keep saying that it's easy. Keep lying to yourself. Keep giving yourself positive reinforcements. When I make games, I feel completely energized. Yes, that's wonderful. Keep going.
Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering.
Every time I make something, I feel better about myself.
This is someone I really cared about. And I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me.
None of this is helping. Patience, you have to trust me. I promise this will work. Please, continue. Pain breezes effortlessly off me. Any sacrifices made for my work are 100% worth it all of the time. Yes, more. Keep
I don't know.
speaking.
This is what I felt at the time.
There is
I
no
don't know
shame,
how else to explain it.
no fear, no
I
guilt.
wanted it to stop more than anything. I never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop.
That's him upset in the room because he's
But it didn't stop.
too hard on himself.
After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Here's the guard. Ma'am, glad to see you have arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quick. Get my information and get out. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. What are you gonna do with the game? What's it gonna be like? All that shit. And here's the brain.
And of course, it's the machine.
Wait 1 second. I gotta go sneeze.
Hey, when did you take off? Huh? So when did you take off? Huh?
This morning at like 8. Yeah, I'm playing a game soon.
So Charles gets you in.
Well, I mean, you're just gonna be watching without audio. So, I don't know. It's probably not gonna be very interesting to you. Why don't you go watch my stream? Just go watch my stream. That'll be cooler.
Watch some porn.
Huh?
Just go watch some porn.
What a guy. Go watch my stream. It'll be interesting.
No, let's hook my PlayStation up.
Go watch my stream, I said.
How the fuck am I supposed to?
I'm not asking.
I know, but I don't know how I'm supposed to do that.
You go on YouTube and you find my stream and you click watch. What a guy. Alright, you've stopped. You stopped creating things, Mr. Brain. You stopped feeding us. Your work was keeping us alive. Your work was keeping us healthy. Those people out there, can you imagine the pain you've put them through? It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through every day. How could we possibly go back to trusting you to do this job? Creating good games? Is that what that is? How about this for a start? You need to go to the people who are out there and apologize to them. Oh, I've done that. You have to admit to the people that you allowed them to suffer. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. Okay. Stop. No? Nothing? Think carefully. I know how to hurt you. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you know how to hurt yourself the most. Alright. I will apologize to the people on your behalf. Fuck. My followers. To my followers, they're not my friends. It falls on me to deliver bad news. The machine will not apologize. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks. Damn straight. Let us pay it retribute. No, let's not do that. Let us show it that we are not failures. Follow me. We will destroy everything that the machine has created. No, I don't want to do either of these. What? You can't destroy the brain, but you can't just destroy everything it's created either. I guess getting rid of your creations is better? It's the better poison? Lights? Whoa! I didn't expect that. Alright. Ah! Destroy it all. Coda, I'll make sure your work dies here. Coda, I'll make sure you are known forever. When am I gonna run out of ammo?
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I'm going to touch on that quick. My friend has been telling me to release my project out as soon as I'm done it. And he hasn't really given me motivation like he was just talking about. But he has told me, like, put it out on Discord or Reddit or wherever and try and get other people. Like, try and get motivation that way. And that could help maybe. And it's like, yeah, I get what he's trying to say, but it's also like that's a lot of time, effort, energy, plus my project's not even done yet. I can't really do that at this point in the production, I guess you'd call it. But he's told me that, where it's like, yeah, get out there and try talking to people, try watching videos on it, do all the stuff that might inspire you, or like this is a game from, or my project is a game from my past, so I wanted to play games that I played back then that maybe helped inspire me in those sorts of ways. And yeah, I think the right idea is to talk to other people and try and put it out there as much as you can. I know with me personally, I've told my friends about my book and they're like, shut the hell up, I don't want to hear about this, tell me about it when it's done. And that's kind of demoralizing. I don't worry about them watching this or seeing me talk shit about them here because they don't watch my stuff. Kind of sucks. But they're kind of assholes when it comes to that. Like, I really don't enjoy telling them about it anymore. Like, at first, when I first thought of my idea, I thought, yeah, this will be awesome. People are going to like this. People are going to like talking about this. And they're just like, have no interest. And some people, that's just the way it's going to be. Like, they are going to be selfish with their own ideas, their own problems that they have in the world, their own relationships and goals and all that kind of stuff. And if they don't have time for you, well, find somebody that does have time. Find somebody that does like it, because not everybody's going to like your stuff. That's the thing. It's even your friends. Not even one of them, honestly. Maybe one of my, 15 close friends actually enjoys talking about this. 2 if I'm being a little lenient with the second one, but he only does it because he understands my frustration with trying to create this thing. But not everybody's gonna like it, so don't be discouraged if one person that you tell about a project or something that you want to do, don't be discouraged if one of them doesn't like it. I've even this might be a little bit too much information, but I even had a girl over one time, and I was telling her about what I was doing as hobbies and whatnot, and like 2 days later she completely stopped talking to me because she just thought it was like lame. Like, she wasn't into the video game kind of world, I guess, and that's just how it was. It was just like, yeah, she's so uninterested in one of these big aspects in my life that she just left. And it's like, okay, you're not the one, bitch. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, find somebody that does like it. Why not? Like, who cares? But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. That was a lot of words to get that out. Oh. Can't even walk anywhere. Oh. That's
So I
funny.
started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the island which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. The point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Uh-huh. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about that. It's like, yeah, tell people about your games. If some people don't like it, well, find people that do. The world's a lot smaller than you think, essentially. Put down your weapon. Nope.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need, to be told that my work is good, that I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something, I really felt like I'd done something good, like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess.
I thought it was years.
And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Shit, when did this come out? I'll check after. Remind me. I'll write a note. That's the last thing he released.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
It's like a fortress with many
This room
doors.
actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise. So the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played. It actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all.
Ouch.
But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Okay. I wonder what that maze would actually be like. Yeah, I almost don't want this bridge here. But at the same time, it would take absolutely
And to
fucking
be fair, it's
forever.
not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
It's tough, and you're not able to see when you make a mistake when creating a giant project like this.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made. It doesn't encourage thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Wonder what the code is. 151617. Okay. I understand why you would have chose that. I understand. It's instead of like 1, 2, 3, which would be like 1, 1, 1. It'd be like the 1, 2, 3. Instead, it's 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, because the 2 and the 3 would have been used. So then you skip those. Oh no, I guess. Okay, never mind. That was bullshit. Never mind. I was trying to make an explanation. Oh shit, that's funny. Oh. Just did it again. A lot of like little sound details I'm appreciating a lot in this. And I'm trapped. Okay, never mind.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges, and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem.
It's the worst
I
when
feel
people
like a
do
failure,
that.
I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
Yeah.
But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
Sometimes you don't have an option
Was I a failure?
other than
Not
to feel
understanding
like a
this?
failure.
I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution,
Mhm.
but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't. I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed. Where did I screw up?
Feels like he's talking about a relationship. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest.
I am the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you. I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable. And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, it was... I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
Would you stop changing my game? Stop adding lampposts to it? Yeah, it is him. Coda is the guy. Is the creator of this game. He's got to be. That's going to be like the big revelation.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Yeah, these are all messages to himself. When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. You desperately need something that I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. And that's a meaning to the game. He doesn't have it. They're just games. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than me. Oh, Davey, you gotta move on from this Coda guy. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine, you're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks and that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything. Space between. Close the door on Coda, is what
That's why
he's
I'm
saying.
releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again.
It is like a
Please
relationship.
help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Slowly moving towards the door too. The camera, the FOV.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Just get on the next train and keep thinking. Essentially.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons. Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
It's like Undermined by Watsky right here. But I totally relate to that feeling of knowing somebody doesn't want anything to do with you and you just feeling like a failure because you can't get their attention. Like, I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, actually. And you do feel like a terrible person just even trying to reconnect just to say an apology. I totally understand that feeling, and just a little bit of advice. You probably don't want to talk to that person even to give them an apology. Like, it is like the very first...
I knew that my life...
It is like the very first puzzle with the door. It's, you have to close that door, move on through the next door, and keep that one behind you closed. Just continue. That's all it is. That's just personal advice from me to you.
Depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation. What would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like. What now?
That's always a sinking feeling. That what now feeling.
I think I need to go. And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for. And so I'm just gonna... Okay.
See, now I wonder what Thor's idea of recommending this so badly, or so intensely, I guess. What was his reason for that? Is it just to put us through, like, this psychological thing of, like, the mindset of creating or trying a project like this? Or is it more to see how somebody else had kind of struggled with it? It's sort of the same thing, but... This thing raising, it's like you'll run out of time. Maybe? Is that what it's saying? Everything takes time? Oh, we're back at the start, aren't we? Because the work never ends. Just enjoy it while you're doing it. Is that the reason? Is that the moral of this ending? I don't know. Well, maybe. Interpret it however you'd like. That's that beam from the beginning. Whisper machine. Huh. I might have to watch like a breakdown of this. This could be really interesting to see all the ways that it's supposed to be interpreted. Because like this beam, when you first jump into it, it stops everything. But now, is it gonna start everything, or am I just gonna start floating upward again, or what's happening? Let's check. That's it. Yeah, the whole game is a maze, essentially. That's a really cool picture. I like that a lot. Cool image, anyway. See, the game could be anything, really. Like, any project you make is gonna look like this. It's gonna be a maze full of options. And as long as you put your heart into it, it'll be great. Is that the moral they're trying to put out there? For R. This project would not have been possible without the help from the following individuals, all of them people. There's gotta be something else here. It's essentially just don't overthink everything, and don't think your project's gonna be the greatest thing in the world either, because then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Just be happy while creating it, and don't do what he did, where he starts idolizing Coda to the point where he's like trying to get his attention all the time, like it's a relationship almost, and then it's almost like a breakup when Coda stops making games, because it's like, okay, you're getting so annoying wanting something I don't have that I actually have to cut ties. And so then he goes and he puts out all of these games anyway to try and get his attention again, which is just insane. And he still is just like, hey, this is it. Here's the game. I need you to quit talking to me. At all. Like in every single form. And then he's just putting this game out, trying to get his attention again, which is the fucked up part. I wonder what happened after this then. Okay, so when was this released? October 1st, 2015. Damn, okay. Community Hub. Yeah, a lot of these people are doing like a what does it all mean thing. Yeah, this guy, I'm not really sure how to interpret this. I actually like what this guy says here. If this game villainizes interpreting the meaning of someone else's work, am I just supposed to feel better effortlessly? I am actually serious in creating this discussion thread. I really want to do this. Okay, what the fuck? I might be an idiot. Yeah, it's just the interpretation of Coda's games. The game does sort of just weaponize that against you. You like something so much that, like so much to a fault. It's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be completely engrossed with something. I expected more, I'm not gonna lie, but that was a cool little game, I guess. I would agree it's fairly pretentious. I don't know. I only paid $4 for it. What the hell did Thor mean then? Why did we have to play this in order to start making games? Other than to like motivate yourself and be like, oh, okay, it's not that bad if you create something you don't like. It's like, it was interesting to say the least, but yeah, it's not gonna help me particularly very much. Maybe it helped you guys. Hopefully it did. If anything, it was at least interesting. But I definitely agree with this guy here. YouTube documentary. That would have been better. I only paid $4. I bet you this guy paid the full $40. That is not worth $40. That was 3 hours. And like I took like pretty much 30 minutes off. yeah, it was all right. I like this building. I think that's a cool design. I like some of the areas. It was cool, but I expected more, especially from Thor. All of that rhymed. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. And shortly I am going to be starting on my project. I might even stream parts of it. I'm not really sure if I want to yet or not. Because then you guys will be spoiled for a lot of the stuff that I'll be writing about. And yeah, hopefully I can just get my project out. This definitely gives me a little bit of motivation. Like, I do feel like I want to write again. If you're wondering why I keep looking to the right, it's because I've got all my notes here. But I do want to finish my project this year. I'm hoping I can. Technically, this is the first announcement I've ever done. That's actually like public. Yeah, I just think I was expecting more. If you guys know any other games like this, that'd be really cool. If you could recommend them. I know Dreams is supposed to be like a video game maker kind of sort of thing. Maybe I'll try that out soon. Otherwise, I'll just be continuing with the videos that I'm making right now. I have a whole series that I've completed. I just have to edit and release it. It's going to be coming out fairly shortly. Next weekend, it's going to be South Park. And then throughout the week, I think I'm going to be doing maybe a bit of Ghost of Tsushima. But I also might do some Dragon Ball. So we'll see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all this stuff. Like I said again, the beginner's guide, it is going to be a kind of a crappy. I just expected to like be able to make a game after this. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting from this, honestly. I'm glad I played it, but I just hope that you guys enjoyed that as much as I did, which is like 6 out of 10. Could have been better. Anyway, I'll end the video now. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. Catch you guys later. Peace.